Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we got to talk about the major news that happened in the last 2 days. It continues to get more and more attention, and that is something that a lot of Americans were preparing for. They have kind of accepted that this was going to probably be the reality because President Trump was not going to back down. But apparently, the United States has launched a mission, an operation, to overthrow the dictator Nicolas Maduro. We didn't necessarily overthrow him. We captured him and his wife, and we brought him to the United States. He's in the United States right now in New York, and he's being prosecuted for his drug charges. This was a very successful mission because we managed to do this in 3 hours without any lives lost, along with only 7 explosions, not 700. Okay, so and despite this, leftists are doing what they're trying their biggest and their hardest to try to destroy this, to try to ruin this moment. Let's remember, though, the left has been trying to get rid of Maduro since Obama, okay? They went after Trump during his first term and said that Trump wasn't doing enough to get rid of Maduro, and basically not recognizing Maduro as a legitimate winner in 2018 was illegitimate. And going forward with when it comes to they basically called himself softballing Maduro, and they continue on to Biden's term to associate Trump with Maduro, with Putin, with Kim Jong-un, and all these adversarial countries. And now out of the sudden, they have become full mask off. They're now going full pro-Venezuela, pro-Maduro, because Trump did what a lot of people think, a lot of leaders, what Biden couldn't do, what Obama couldn't do, what Bush couldn't do under Hugo Chavez. But Trump did it, and he essentially didn't oust the regime, but basically put the regime on life support. And why I say that is, basically, we got the main guy. We got Maduro. Right now, the regime's has a big question mark. You have the current president, Miss Rodriguez, former vice president, now president, who assumed power, and she's being very, I don't know, yeah, she's pretty weak, and I don't really expect much from her. She's going to play tough dog. She's going to become Claudia Sheinbaum, diet Claudia Sheinbaum, diet Dollar Tree Claudia Sheinbaum. And speaking of Claudia Sheinbaum, we have the Chihuahua president, Claudia Sheinbaum. She's throwing a huge fit. She is unhappy. She's very angry that her comrade, Nicolas Maduro, was overthrown. And we have a lot to talk about. But I want to specifically address this channel and remind this channel on really what MAGA values are, because I know there's a lot of people in MAGA that are anti-interventionist, anti-war, and I just want to read this out to you all. Basically, I'm sure most of you all saw this post when I first heard of this. Today, President Trump has made a tough decision to act with military force to oust Nicolas Maduro and the long-standing socialist Bolivarian regime, which had plagued Venezuela since 1999. Keep in mind, this long-standing socialist regime still acts in place, but that regime is put on life support. It's basically unstable right now, and the legitimacy is being questioned. Really, we're trying to kind of play nice with the vice president, and she has apparently talked with Marco Rubio. We're going to see how things work. She's of course going to be a barking chihuahua like her friend Claudia Sheinbaum. She'll demand the release of Nicolas Maduro, which she already has. She's going to play her part as the leader of the regime, okay? She's going to virtue signal for the pro-Maduroists. But right now, she's on her knees right now. She's crawling, but she's on her knees. So there is that. So I applauded the administration for the huge accomplishment. No American lives were lost, with only 7 explosions. this regime change operation was more successful than Libya and Iraq combined. And most importantly, Osama bin Laden, who I want to believe we captured him in Pakistan and killed him on the spot. We actually brought this guy home, okay? We actually brought this Nicolas Maduro home. Keep in mind, we didn't bring Saddam Hussein home. We actually gave them to the Iraqi military, and they took him. We brought this guy home. Okay, we brought this guy to our soil to face the American sword of justice. So he's going to pay. So I'm very happy when it comes to that. I know that there are a lot of individuals on this channel that may be unhappy with what unfolded this morning. And I want to remind those people, in order for America to be great, it must protect its own backyard, the Western Hemisphere. And that's what I'm saying. The Monroe Doctrine is been doctrine for a very long time. And the presidents that we say are amazing, like Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, and all these leaders that are post-World War, right? Pre-World War presidents that actually practice America isolationism and put America first. Yeah, we're doing no different than McKinley right now. As you know, I want to believe President Trump's favorite president is William McKinley, and you can know why. And it's always been, President Trump has always let us know that that he's been a major admirer of William McKinley, which is very mind-boggling. Why I think a lot of these anti-war, sort of Republicans, the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, who claim to be strong Trump supporters till now, are so shocked that Trump would do this. Well, no, we're putting America first. You got to keep in mind, America first, make America great again, is not make America run away again. Okay? This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene is suggesting we do. We just sit here, ignore and kick the can down the road and do nothing. You have Venezuela committing an act of war against the United States by allowing these narco-terrorists, these cartels, to go into the Gulf of Mexico to smuggle drugs into the country. And this has been going on for a very, very, very long time. But the problem was these politicians, these presidents want to get reelected, okay? They want to keep their regime. They want to keep their careers positive. So what did they do? They kicked the can down the road. So, and what happened? It eventually got worse and worse and worse, along with Joe Biden's open border. That did not make anything good, right? So I made the point about the Monroe Doctrine, and basically I've mentioned basically Venezuela has been killing Americans for a very long time. It has sent drug cartels to kill our wonderful women and children. Today they found out. Hey, yeah, you found out. And that's what put America first is. America first, make America great again. America great again is not America running away. This is why I keep telling the Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Greens of the world, that if you think America is to be complacent when your people are getting killed due to a foreign country in order to avoid a conflict, that's weak. That's worse than a Joe Biden America. So if you think we're going to do that, no way. And we didn't even invade. Technically, if the UN wants to call it an invasion, yes, but it was not. It was just we went in, probably invaded their skies. We went to the capital city, got the guy and left. We got the guy and left. No Americans died. Which was spectacular. Democrats, Joe Biden, he put a bounty on this guy's head. And we actually cleaned up his mess. So this is a huge W for the Trump administration. And of course, we do have a lot of the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world throwing their tantrum. And I'm just saying, these people claim to be America first. They claim to be MAGA. But this tells us what they really are. They're not MAGA. They really aren't. They are pro-America run away, right? Make America run away again. Because, let me tell you something. You know that regardless if you think the Spanish-American War was necessary or not, William McKinley's image was very positive, okay, after that war. We essentially went to war with Spain, really with zero evidence that Spain committed an act of war against us. And really, yeah, I mean, a lot of historians pew that. But what did America get? They got Cuba, they got Guam, they got Puerto Rico, they got the Philippines. They're playing top dog. What did we do to Colombia? Yeah, we bullied them to get us Panama. Okay, that's what I want to believe Roosevelt did. Yep, we got the Panama Canal. We bought it from Colombia. That's what we're trying to do with Denmark. Okay, to give them us Greenland. We are following the legacy of our dear leaders, Teddy Roosevelt and William McKinley. Okay, the people that we say, oh, they're so great leaders. Teddy Roosevelt carries a big stick. Yeah, let's actually carry that big stick. Let's do that. Okay? And here's the thing, yeah, Teddy is a progressive, but a progressive who puts his own country first. I can give respect to that. And that's what I was just saying. I don't know what the full quote is. What's that full quote? Carrie, what's it called? Teddy, I can't believe I'm blundering it. Teddy Roosevelt, carry a big stick quote. All right, so it says, speak softly and carry a big stick. Okay. It basically is a West African proverb he adopted to describe his foreign policy of using diplomacy backed by the credible threat of military force to achieve goals, emphasizing that neither soft talk nor force alone is sufficient, but their combination projects strength and deters the conflict. So we say amazing things about Teddy Roosevelt, but we won't say amazing things what he's known about, that big stick ideology. Donald Trump's brought back the big stick ideology, okay? And you saw it with Iran, okay? We gave Iran essentially 30 days at least, 30 to 60 days to disarm. They did it. They found out. Now, regardless if you think the United States should have went to that much of a length, I do agree that was a little too much. The United States responded. And if they didn't respond after they made that threat, that would make them look weak, okay? Like, oh, wait, hang on. The United States, Trump didn't mean what he said. Trump chickened out. They do the Taco Trump thing again. And we're seeing every single day that Taco Trump always chickens out, is becoming more credible every single day. Because when Trump talks, when he says a threat, he always acts on it. When you have stupid idiots like Maduro, who has another bounty on his head put on by President Trump this time, saying, "Hey, you better leave," and he goes, "No." Then hey, we tried since September. We're done. Okay. Eventually, Trump has to act. Okay, and this isn't just to save his political career. As far as I'm concerned, his career is damned if you do, damned if you don't when it comes to the leftists. And we have a lot to talk about with the leftists, because, I got to go ahead and finish up this paragraph because we had a lot of comments to go over, because there have been comments. And I don't mean to attack these people. They're just leftists with opinions. But here's the thing, guys. If you comment down in my posts. Now, here's the thing. You can comment being supportive. I'm not going to go over that. But if you're going to say something that makes a good thing to put in my video, I'm going to put it in my video. It's my channel. You commented on my post. You're basically signing up on the script to be in my next video. So this guy right here, I'm going to read his comment. I responded to him, and he's going to reply to me back. And we had a good little conversation. And I'm just going to say, yeah, you signed up to be a part of the video. So, I'm going to be nice. You have your opinion, and I responded to you, but I'm just going to use him as an example of one of these people who are trying to pew this, okay? And these are usually the people that support globalism, okay? They usually are generally in support of Ukraine. And they back, of course, NATO. They'll support Biden's efforts of strengthening and leading NATO against Russia and against Putin, yada, 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 yada. So it's kind of funny that we're seeing suddenly the anti-globalism coming from them. And it's not even globalism, because what we're doing is just general foreign policy responsibility, okay? National security. Just national security in general. When you have idiots driving their boats across the Caribbean, going into your country, what do? You have millions of them coming in. What do? You let it be, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Rand Paul? What? Or you try to figure it out, and when you think they're a threat, do you act militarily? I think you do that. That's what a good president does. So, obviously, I did I summarized a lot. So, I'm trying to find where, so yeah, today they found out, if we're going to preach America first and America values, then we have to mean it when we say it. Yeah, I mean, are you going to support America running away? So, I am thankful that this is all over without an actual regime change war being fought right now. And if we lived in a sane world, we would be praising the president. And we do have a lot of people praising the president. Our Venezuelan Americans in Miami and across the nation are praising President Trump because of this. And most importantly, no war, no American lives lost. We're taking the Monroe Doctrine seriously, and we need to do that in order to make America great again. We can't just go and be like one of these people, like I use Christianity, for example. These leftist Christians, they claim. They go and they say, oh, I'm Christian, I believe Jesus is the Son of God, but I won't believe the things he teach. Like, for example, marriage, for example. If you're a Christian, you generally will believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. Essentially, if you're a practicing Christian, or you claim or not a practicing Christian, you'll just say, I believe what the Christians teach, but just not that. You basically pick and choose what you want, like a cafeteria Christian. That is what we're seeing right here with MAGA, okay? You have so-called Trump supporters, MAGA supporters that want to pick and choose. No, if you are MAGA, then you got to be on board with what we do. Because here's the thing. Yes, you can disagree. Yeah, it's your right. It's your right. Guess what? I personally didn't like Iran. Okay? I personally did not like the Iran mission. Okay? Was that MAGA stance? Not really. MAGA had a lot of division on that. But 80-90% of MAGA backs this. Because they understand that this is in the backyard. You don't just let someone run into your front gate, into the front door, and just bring stuff into your house. This is what I said to this guy. This guy says, so, you are cheering regime change, nation building, and potentially worse. All things he swore against. Things we failed miserably at. You MAGAs are so versatile. And I responded, and I said, no, he swore against regime change wars on the other side of the globe that has nothing to do with us. Ukraine, Russia, Iraq, and the Middle East have nothing to do with us. When someone is on your property, you don't let them stay on your property. You get them out. And that's what I'm trying to say. Would you be that type of person that would randomly let some homeless guy walk into your house and you have no idea who he is? Just walk into your house, walk out, and walk back in. You could have a weapon. Do you act? Or are you supposed to say, no, I'll just let him be because I don't want conflict? No, because your life is at stake. And in this case, your country could be in danger. So what I said was, when you have someone and you're in that situation, you got to get them out. You got to call 911. And that's what the U.S. did in this. We told Venezuela to cut it out. We gave them so many chances. But eventually, when you give them so many chances, that's when the Taco Trump comes up. The comments like that starts to come back up. You get the Kyle Kolinskis of the world, the Crystal Balls of the world, the Jennifer Welsh's of the world. They'll start bringing that up again. MSNBC, MS Now, they'll start saying Taco Trump again. But guess what? Trump didn't check it out this time. And we have leftists. They're still mad, okay? They're not actually admitting that Trump didn't check it out. We actually went in there. We grabbed him. We grabbed him with the earlobe. We dragged him into it while he was wearing pajamas. and we gave him his stupid due process. We read him Miranda rights, which was stupid. I mean, like, aren't those for U.S. citizens? Well, regardless, he got his due process that the leftists always say we don't give the illegals. But this is proof we're giving due process, because we gave Maduro his due process that he doesn't really have. You have the right to remain silent. Let me guess, he has a lawyer in New York right now. Jeez, he's actually learning how easy he has it. He thinks he's going to be abused like they... I bet he thought he was going to be executed right when he got off the helicopter or the jet, whatever it was. But no, we were very nice. But of course, I just said, you get them out. That's what the U.S. did. This is actual U.S. foreign policy that was instituted by the Biden, Obama, Bush, and actually, this was the foreign policy that was instituted by the founding fathers, not by Biden, Obama, Bush, and the globalists. And yeah, I mean, we've done this so many times. Folks, we went to war with our ally, France, in the quasi-war, because they attacked our ships. If we are going to adopt these people's mindsets, we would say, wait, hang on, we can't attack France. It was probably an accident. Let's not attack. No, President Adams says, okay, we're going to shoot you back. And that's what started the eventual quasi-war, which was a short war between the U.S. and France that was fought during the Napoleonic War era. Okay, 1798, 1800. But the point was, guess what? We bullied France. France actually kind of bullied us because we kind of violated the treaty, the Franco-American Treaty, which basically said that we had to support France in some way to pay back their support in the American Revolutionary War. And we said, no, we're actually not going to do it because we played dirty. Guess what? George Washington played dirty. He played the Trump card, okay? He played Trump because he essentially promised France and signed the treaty saying, we would support you, France. We're going to support you. But right when France goes to war with Austria, with Spain, with Britain, they go and turn to us and say, America, where are you? And we said, psych, nope, we're not helping you. We said, actually, we changed our mind. And France, of course, crashed out and they attacked our ships, and we said, screw it, we're going to shoot you back. And this led to 2 years of shooting. And did people turn on John Adams because of this? No, they didn't. They actually rallied behind John Adams, okay? And of course, we didn't win the war. It was mostly there was a convention that officially ended the conflict. But, I mean, this was a very bloody military operation that actually took around 160 men and 222 privateers, 2,000 ships, merchant ships were eventually captured. So, I'm just saying, this has always been implemented policy, not by Biden, Obama, and the Bush globalists. You know, the United States under Adams, under the Founding Fathers, fought on our side of the globe. Never once have we fought a war in the East, during this time. The far East we have gotten was the Barbary States, because the Barbary States attacked us. We're doing a big history video. They attacked us twice, actually 3 times, if you count the essential U.S.-Algerian War. But we got attacked by Algiers and Tripolitania. And we ended up having to go to war with them twice. First Barbary War, second Barbary War. Yep, we went over to Africa. It was a pain. But hey, we were attacked. It wasn't our ally. It wasn't France. In fact, France was attacked and we said psych. Okay? We didn't care. We didn't give a flying you know what. You getting attacked? Our founding fathers said psych. Okay? If our founding fathers say it, then, hey, it's justified, right? They are what makes things precedent. They are the founders of this country, and they ought to be the founders of this foreign policy. So, this is clearly what we did, and we have Biden, Bush, and Obama. They're fighting wars on the other side of the globe. Trump is returning to fighting wars and fighting conflicts that need to be fought on our side of the globe. That is MAGA foreign policy. MAGA, like these Democrats claim, we're so anti-war. No, we're not. We're not anti-war. We're not these. Otherwise, we'd be electing Rand Paul. Rand Paul ran for president in 2016, and we voted. We didn't vote for him. In fact, he didn't even carry a delegate. We voted for Trump. Trump campaigned on this hawkish approach against ISIS. Okay, he was very anti-ISIS, while you have Clinton being anti-Bashar, anti-Putin, anti-Xi, anti-Kim Jong-un. No, we were anti-ISIS because they keep attacking us unprovoked. Okay? That's what if you've been paying attention, this shouldn't even be mentionable. I shouldn't have to mention this. So, yes, of course, this is what you do when, you lose the argument and you concede the argument. You usually go and you say mental gymnastics. And you accuse me of mental gymnastics. And I can say another supporter came of the channel, pointed out, and then this guy can't even respond and say, oh, it's mental gymnastics. And usually when people use that, it's just you can't find anything to counter my argument. Look, we're fighting on our own side of the globe. The United States was attacked this time, not Ukraine, not Israel. I know Iran was Israel this time, and that's why MAGA was very angry about it, consequently, because Israel was the victim and we decided to fight their war for them. But this is ours. We're our own party this time. We're not intervening on behalf of another country. No, we're intervening on behalf of us. We're defending ourselves. And give it to Trump. We didn't go in like Bush did with Afghanistan. Folks, we just needed to go into Afghanistan, pick up Osama bin Laden, and go out. Trump said it could be done. But we decided to overthrow a regime that didn't need to be overthrown. Oh, I get it. Oh, the Taliban was so bad. They were killing women, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't involve us. We're not the world's police force. Okay? This is what I become more hawkish on globalism. This is what MAGA actually stands for in foreign policy. Okay? We don't get involved in other people's civil wars because we don't like the ruling party. Oh, we don't like how they're treating their women. We don't like how they're treating their people. Yeah, you can condemn it. You can sanction them, but you don't have to throw your troops, 18-year-old boys, to fight a war. That's crazy. So, yeah, and you'll see this other guy. He said, bro, founding fathers lived in a completely different world 300 years ago when USA wasn't global power. You can't implement their outdated policies in modern world when everything has changed. No, it doesn't matter. No, nothing changes. Presidents don't change. Precedents don't change. Okay? China, the United States just needs to be like China right now. China is actually practicing isolationist policy. They're not going all the way to Ukraine to help Russia. Okay? Their ally was attacked by Ukraine. Well, actually, no. Pardon me. Russia attacked Ukraine. Essentially. Ukraine is counterattacking. North Korea essentially is being a globalist power right now, and they're going over to help Russia. China said, no, we're just going to stay. We're going to stand back. And we're going to do our own thing. And they're basically using their military to carry out operations around the South China Sea. They're talking about Taiwan. You know, if they invade Taiwan, that's not acting on, like, I wouldn't even say Russia too. Because Russia is also acting on the behalf of their own interests, right? They invaded Ukraine. Why did Russia invade Ukraine? In their defense, they were concerned about NATO, okay? Because NATO does not know when to stop. They continue to build up, get every single country in the membership, and they don't learn to understand and listen to their adversaries for once and say, actually, this might cause a war between you and us. They say, screw you, we're going to continue to add a bunch of countries you don't like to our alliance, including Ukraine. Ukraine's going to join if you like it or not. Hey, guess what? I'm not justifying the Russian invasion, but this is an example of finding out, okay? Essentially, low-key, ladies and gentlemen, NATO found out when Russia invaded Ukraine. Low-key. Low-key, and I say low-key as pretty much a shield, so, I don't want, the the Fed going after me or something like that, but this is an example, okay? And I've given examples of the U.S. in this stage. Guess what? An American boat was seized by Algerians by Tripolitanians. Pardon me, by barbarian pirates in northern Africa. One ship. Guess what we did? We sent a whole fleet to go get that ship back. When we're attacked, we attack back. In this case, sure, Venezuela didn't attack us militarily, but they did attack us with narco drugs. Okay? They did kill American citizens. And when you see them continuously doing this, going across the border for 10 years, you have to do something. But politicians like Joe Biden, George Bush, and Obama want to get reelected. And that's why what Trump did was so admirable, so respectable. Joe Biden essentially put a bounty on this guy and left. Donald Trump didn't just put a bounty on this guy's head. He also tried to engage with Venezuelan military and say, look, you guys got to kill this guy. And if you aren't going to get this guy, we're going to get him. He wasn't like Joe Biden and walked away and ignored the situation. Oh, well, I did my thing. I just put a bounty on your head. Like, that means nothing. No, we doubled that bounty. And we said, if you're not going to get him, we'll do it. We'll do your work for you. And that's what we did. So, for my message for the trolls, thank you for your comments, because they make good content to review, because I need some examples of what liberals are saying. And these two individuals are gifts to me because they make good examples for my video. But yes, obviously you have stuff going on like this, and it is absolutely let's be honest. I'm just at a loss of words, because you have these same people, okay? The same people that will sit us down and tell us that we can't call Putin smart, right? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, when Putin invaded Ukraine very first day, and Trump made the remark that, it takes a smart person to launch an invasion like that. And he's right. And what did the left do? What did Democrats do? What did Biden do? What did the whole Democratic Party do? Trump called Putin smart. This is a compliment. He's a traitor. He's all in it for Putin. He's all in it for Russia. And ever since then, it's been this Russia collusion 2.0. Let's be honest. They've linked this guy to Russia, Donald Trump to Russia, since day one of his 2016 campaign, because it was alleged that Russia was supporting Trump, even though he wasn't. Okay, they weren't. And they've been also trying to link him to Kim Jong-un. They've linked him to Xi. They've linked him also to Maduro, believe it or not. In 2018, 2019, and 2020, you had Chuck Schumer on the House floor saying that, Trump's being too soft on Maduro. He's killing his own people. And let's just say 6 years later, they have egg in their face, because now we got Maduro. We got him out, and now they're throwing a fit. Really? They told us that we were being too soft. But the same people like this guy here, who has been lecturing us that, Trump is pro-Putin, he supports dictators, he says good things about dictators, he wants to be a dictator on day one. Well, let's just say they're protesting and they're demanding the freedom of a dictator. That's right, they're demanding the freedom of a dictator. These are the people that celebrated the killing of Charlie Kirk, who wasn't just a conservative activist, but a father of 2 little kids who were toddlers, basically, but are old enough to see and not understand, but to see what happened to their father. And maybe remember it in some ways. I don't know. But they saw it. They were in the front row seat of seeing their father getting shot in the neck. That video is still online, unfortunately. Still online. And it will probably forever be online. Because it's the internet. It's social media. You know. These are the people that celebrated that. They didn't care about 2 little girls losing their father because they hated him. They didn't agree with my left-wing principles. Therefore, he gets to die. Who cares about the 2 little kids and the grieving widow? In fact, we're going to go and we're going to attack the widow because, she made herself chairwoman of the TPUSA. That makes her qualified to attack. Still, she's still a grieving widow. For Pete heaven's sake, get some morality. Well, it looks like the left has none because, let's just say, if we brought home Putin, it would have been the same situation. If we actually arrested Bibi Netanyahu like Mayor Mondami says he wanted, we got this dork. He would still demand Netanyahu be freed. Because if Trump does it, then it's different, right? If Trump does something, we must be against it. Okay, in this case, Trump arrested an adversary of interests by Obama and Biden. Maduro was a highly adversarial enemy of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party did not like him. The left didn't like him, but the communists love him, apparently. But yeah, they call him, he says, he's aligned with Russia. He's aligned with Putin. He's aligned with China. He's aligned with MAGA. But now when MAGA actually goes and takes him out, we must release Maduro. And this is why we're going to go ahead and take a look at this video, because you're going to see this guy, this young Gen Z buffoon, a college uneducated liberal, running around. He's going to demand that, he's going to say he stands with Venezuela. He's going to claim that he stands in solidarity with the Venezuela people, even though really the Venezuela people are probably the happiest they've ever been. And this guy, he's going to give him, this guy, the reporter, is actually going to fact check him, give him the receipts, and he's actually going to fall apart. And he's going to somehow say that, I'll just stand with you anyway. I just want to be with you. I want to comfort you. All right, so let's go ahead and see this guy cope so hard as he protests in anger that his Lord and Savior, Nicolas Maduro, has been finally brought to justice.
Check out that communist flag over there.
What brings you out here today?
I'm organized with the Revolutionary Communists of America. We're out here to say hands off Venezuela. And we unequivocally stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialist aggression.
What do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets?
What?
What do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets today?
I saw images of Venezuelans being bombed after the U.S.
Let's be honest. I don't think there's any images. We have images of actual bombings, of Venezuela, but there aren't Venezuelan people getting bombed, okay? And just to clarify, what we're actually seeing, this is probably what the image he's referring to. Yeah. There are a lot of Venezuelans in this image getting bombed. Okay? This is the communist argument. They always, all the time, over-exaggerate a event to fit their narrative. And this is what this kid's doing. He claims that Venezuelans are getting bombed. Well, to be honest, yeah, I'm sure there were some Venezuelans that died, unfortunately, from those bombings. But were there 130? Nope, probably less than. And I know the average leftist will say, well, one's too much. Well, that's what happens in operations like this. I'm sure one person died when we overthrew Salvador Allende of Chile in 1973, September 11th. I'm sure a lot of people died. It's just how it goes. And it's unfortunate. But I say it's Maduro's fault. It's Maduro. Because we were attacked. We were the victim. And the United States has to respond. And U.S. response usually costs some lives. So let's go ahead and continue this guy's delusional argument. Because obviously the people of Venezuela, they're not actually mourning and groaning over the bombings. They're actually celebrating the bombings. They said it was worth it. It was a price to pay to be freed. Finally. After being jailed, actually being dragged across the street by the military. You talk about the U.S. and the National Guard being on the street. Jeez Louise, people, come on. If you're a leftist from Chicago, get off, stop your sob story. You have Venezuelans, before this all started, they were getting their face, their eyes, their noses, they were getting blood smeared. They were being dragged from their feet, their face matching the concrete, across the streets of Caracas because they protested against the regime. There is blood being smeared across the streets of Caracas. There are people that are losing their limbs because they're being shot by the military for protesting. And you want this guy to go back? This is crazy. What the heck? The Democratic Party's full mask off now.
US, bombed Caracas, so I'm not sure what you're talking about, but yeah, I think you should definitely...
show me the bombings that you're talking about? I didn't see any.
I don't know, I just saw it on Reddit. It was on the front page of...
Reddit's an amazing source. Yeah, of course, Reddit. Amazing. Good job, mister.
Reddit, so, okay. I don't know. But what do you think about the people celebrating, the hundreds of thousands of people that are in the streets celebrating?
I have yet to see it. Can you show me that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, he asked for the receipts. I honestly... Let's give him I'll give him that. You asked to get owned, which actually proves how delusional he is. How these people are living in an echo chamber. They really are. They're living in a left-wing outrage echo chamber where everyone is outraged. And everyone must be consumed of left-wing. They want socialism. This is what these people think. They are demanding socialism. Just the thing that this guy doesn't even believe. This guy's living under a rock. Like, he didn't even know, this is as bad as, someone being complacent, not even knowing that we got the president of Venezuela in our custody. But
U.S. imperialism.
People celebrating on the streets here. What do you think about that?
At the end of the day, I stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialism. The U.S. has no right to...
Remember that guy that was talking about mental gymnastics? Yeah, this is actual mental gymnastics. This is Kamala Harris word salad right in front of your face.
Bomb the people of Venezuela. The U.S. has no right to kidnap another
Why are they all celebrating? Why are they celebrating?
I don't know. Do you have a correspondent there who can ask? I
don't know. We're done being dragged across the street. The guy that dragged us across the street and arrested us for private conversations and every single rumor about us, every single lie told by people across the street's is officially gone. I don't know why they're celebrating. They have it so easy. They have socialism. It's amazing. It's so great. Socialism's so great. Example, Venezuela and Cuba. That's what socialism's really like. I'm like, okay, yeah.
I'm here demonstrating against U.S. imperialism and the U.S. intervention.
Yeah.
AI though? These images of everybody
I don't know.
celebrating?
You're the one showing me the video, so let me know.
You asked for the video, though.
Showing me the source.
I don't know. I don't think it's AI because it's being published by multiple news organizations.
Yeah, this guy's done, and you know when he keeps saying the same thing. Oh, well, I'm here to support the people of Venezuela, and while they're celebrating, I'm going to comfort them. I'm going to give them all my money. I'm going to see if they need help. I'm going to give them food and water. I'm going to cry on the street for them. You lost your dictator, the dictator that's killed more people than Saddam Hussein. You have a right to die to your dictator. Yeah, this is the Democrats. And speaking of those type of people, we actually got an example that I think is hilarious, actually, because there's always a common denominator in politics. And that is the white liberal man, okay? The white liberal woman, the white liberal man. And let me tell you, when you got individuals escaping the Democrat Party plantation, there will always be the white liberal man and the white liberal woman. They'll do their best. They'll try to chase them down. And this is what this white liberal man is going to do. He's going to go and outrage at a bunch of Venezuelan Americans celebrating the victory of their liberation of their country and demonstrating true patriotism on that very special day. This liberal is going to lose it. He's going to say, no, you have to protest. You gotta blame Trump. No, they're thanking Trump, and that's why they're losing. This is why the liberal man is losing his mind. You're gonna go ahead and see, because this guy has not gone. No matter how much these white liberal men and white liberal women want to make themselves look like they're from a third world country, that America is somehow a fascist dictatorship. No, our country will never equal the amount of the people of Venezuela, how much they suffered. Never, okay? Living in America is a luxury. If you were born here, you won the lottery. That's just the fact. You won the lottery. I don't care if you're black, you are gay, you're lesbian, you're a Hispanic, or whatever. I don't care if your family was deported because they entered the country illegally, just to be clear. You won the lottery, okay? You won the lottery. This is why everyone wants to come here. So let's go ahead and react to this white liberal man losing it.
Your own people are going to die, and you're cheering for the death of your own people. You're cheering for the death of Americans like me are going to die. They're cheering for the death of their own people. Shame on you. You're traitors to your country. You're traitors to your country. You're traitors. They're murderers, traitors to their country, celebrating the death of their own people. Wow. Millions of people are going to die. Venezuelans are going to die. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. War, you're cheering for the death of Americans. Americans like me.
You know, it's not about Americans, because these are the same people that fly their Ukrainian flag and argue that U.S. troops should be in Ukraine under the Biden administration. But, you know, this guy completely is, every accusation's a confession, and this is, I mean, let's be honest, everything that this guy's accusing of these patriots of supporting, he's supporting. Let's be honest, this guy is supporting the deaths of Venezuelans under the Maduro regime. He wants Maduro to go back to kill more Venezuelans and draft more innocent Venezuelan kids to eventually raise them as narco-terrorists and cartel drug dealers. That's what this guy wants him to do. That's what this guy wants. And you have, of course, it's just so funny, you know, because these people are so hypocritical. They say, no, you're cheering for war. You're betraying your own country. What do you mean? What do you mean? This country has been occupied for 36 years. 36 years, mister, under oppression. Under actual fascism. You want to go and you don't even know what the actual definition of fascism really is. Hugo Chavez, Nicolas Maduro, legitimate fascists. They go around, they say they're socialists. Doesn't matter. They still act like fascists. They're legitimate dictators. They want to go and claim Trump's a dictator. They want to do their stupid, worthless No Kings protest, but they want to release the dictator. This is why they call it No Kings, guys, not No Dictators. Because they secretly support dictators like the Cuban dictator and Hugo Chavez and the Nicolas Maduros of the world. It's sad. It's disappointing stuff. But yeah, you got this one common denominator, and that is the white liberal man, the white liberal woman. Let's see, I did another post, and I was going to say, the Jennifer Welshes of the world, they will go and lecture you. If you are a person of color that joins the Republican Party or MAGA, they'll tell you you're a traitor to your race. Really, they're exposing their own racism. Hey, I mean, I'm against race baiting, but if you happen to be MAGA and you happen to be a person of color, just do yourself a favor and call them out on their hypocrisy. Just say, that sounds a little white supremacist of you. Hey, it's not race baiting when you're trying to prove a point, when you're trying to expose their hypocrisy. They actually think they're great people. And I did a little joke, a little sarcastic post to let you all know that I don't actually believe this, okay? I'm actually trying to lay a trap. And I actually made it more clear in the comments that I actually don't mean what I'm saying here, but I made the argument and said, if I could go back in time and support Muammar Gaddafi and hope that, he beats America, I would. Keep in mind, I don't actually believe this. But it said, I decided to go back and retrieve this post since the Democratic Party has now made it acceptable to support dictators and America's adversaries. I just wanted to remind people that Barack Obama wrongfully invaded Libya and overthrew the country's heroic president in 2011. Muammar Gaddafi, the president of Libya, was killed by Obama wrongfully and unjustly for no reason. I think Obama should be tried for war crimes by the UN. What do Democrats think? So what I'm trying to do here is, I'm clearly trying to, and obviously it's crazy that I have trolls on this channel, and obviously I'm not surprised. But some people can interpret it as a trap for the trolls. It could be. I do have some comments, but I'm not really necessarily going over. I'll only go over some crazy, stupid left-wing comments if they're clearly going to benefit in a video. Like, they do make good points, and I want to debate them in a video. That's the only time I will do it. So if you're a left-wing troll, you may not care, and you might post your comment anyway. Great. Amazing. We'll have more of these. But anyway, I'm just saying, be wise of what you post. Because I'm keeping my eyes out. I do read the comments, by the way. I know a lot of people think I don't. I do. And I'm not fazed whatsoever. But the point I'm trying to make here is, regardless if you think, I do think that, I don't think we should have intervened in Libya personally, but I would never support Muammar Gaddafi. I want to make that clear. I would root for the outcome of him being ousted, but apparently using, let's just say, the Democrats, the Democrat playbook, Republicans ought to support Muammar Gaddafi because Obama joined the server, right? Obama joined the server, then you must support Muammar Gaddafi because whatever Obama supports, you must be against. So you support Muammar Gaddafi, okay? And you want America to lose to Libya, okay? Now, keep in mind, we bombed Libya, okay? We worked with Italy specifically to take out areas in Libya, northern Libya, the coasts, in Tripoli. Yeah, and let's be honest, in ways, yeah, Obama did commit crimes. I mean, he killed a U.S. citizen with a drone, okay? And it's likely he knew about the drone, okay? So I try to make that point. obviously. I know people aren't going to comment. My channel is very small. I made that clear in the New Year's Eve video. But I'm just trying to prove a point. Prove another point of Democrat Party hypocrisy. Would you imagine... Let's go back to 2011. You had Mitt Romney actually applaud President Obama for this. Mitt Romney challenged Obama in 2012, just a year ago. He applauded Obama. He supported Obama. He said, I support the president in his mission in Libya. I don't, okay? It's not because I don't like Obama, okay? It's because, really, it's not our fight to pick. It's Libya. It's a country in the middle of the globe, okay? This is a country that I would say has no real national security issue. Venezuela is a national security issue, and Cuba is a national security issue because they're on our side of the globe. Cuba more, because you have Cuba being so close to Florida. There are people that I want to believe they take their jet boat. They go from the tippy point of the Florida Peninsula, and they drive up. They take their boat and they go all the way to Cuba in one day. That's how close it is. That's a U.S. adversary, and we should be concerned. And President Trump is threatening Cuba. He is sending warning signs to Claudia Sheinbaum, or Swanbaum, whatever you want to call her, the most inappropriate of names. And, of course, the most disgusting dictator of South America, since Maduro has been ousted, now I can call Petro. Well, yes, we cannot wait. Folks, yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, the United States clearly sent a message to these leaders, okay? We sent a message to Gustavo Petro. We sent a message to Lula of Brazil. We clearly have, and mainly Petro, it's very likely, I mean, this guy's term limited, he's maxed out, and you do have an election coming up in Colombia, and I'm just saying, hey, I know a lot of us are paying attention of these U.S. elections. I don't know if it's actually this year, but whenever that Colombia election is, mark your calendar. Mark your calendar. Yes, it's this year. May the 31st. This guy's out of here. This guy, Gustavo Petro, get him out. He has been a disgusting disgrace. Yeah, essentially he called us his enemy. We're not your enemy. In fact, I think it's a mistake, but we still label Colombia as a U.S. ally. Crazy, right? This is the guy that told our military to go kill President Trump and defy his orders. This is Gustavo, and we still have the dignity to call you our ally. We give this guy time and time a chance. I mean, yeah, I think Trump ought to overthrow him. No more waiting around. This guy, we have time. Very little. I don't think really it'd be prudent because you do have an election on the 31st of May. We are circling. We're going to review that election, by the way. This is a major election, and I mean, there ought to be better candidates, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Humane Colombia, that is the Gustavo Petro party. But yeah, we'll get into that election later on. But I'm just saying, smart ways, try to focus on these elections. President Trump did a good job in Honduras, making sure we got the left-wing idiots out of Honduras. We got a good president elected in Honduras. He was involved in the Chile election. He endorsed Jose Antonio Cast, who is the president-elect of Chile. We're getting involved democratically. And I don't care. Oh, Trump's trying to rig the elections in favor of conservatives. Oh, no. You don't understand. We're the United States of America. We're the top dog. We're the top dog. And we happen to be the top dog. We happen to be the biggest power in the world. We're going to assert our dominance. This is our continent. And every single country on that continent is going to be friendly to us. Not one country on this continent will treat us badly. Not one country on this continent will mistreat us. If they do, we have problems. This is a warning shot to Colombia. This is a warning shot to Cuba. This is a warning shot to Mexico. And this is a warning shot to Lula's Brazil. Get ready. And I'm just saying, yeah, you have Lula having his re-election bid coming up. He's pretty popular, well-liked, likely going to win re-election pretty easily. I'm just saying, hey, look, United States should still get involved. Play top dog. I think it's in 2027. I'm not sure. I'm just saying, President Trump, yeah, you do have the presidential election before the midterms. Yeah, get this clown out. He's old. He's a rotting corpse. Get him out. This guy is tied to Russia. This guy is tied to, what's his name? Venezuela, Maduro. This guy is getting Russian oil. This guy's basically, yeah, Brazil's another country we call an ally, and they're nothing. They're another garbage country, and if you're from Brazil, don't take this literally. Garbage country as of under Lula. It's just, yeah, my frustration is just, yeah, you get all these countries. They are impossible to work with. That's why, hey, President Trump, you ought to get involved. And now we have to wrap up this video. It's getting long. And we'll talk about the midterms because obviously this is going to have somewhat of an impact. I will say no. It probably won't. And what I mean by that is when it comes to the midterms, yes, you will have, of course, Hispanics that are against the mass deportations. You will have some stupid idiot leftists that are going to vote. We're going to face the backlash of President Trump's decisions that are made overall. But I just think that's inevitable. But, I mean, it's part of politics. But hey, if the Venezuelans are really happy, if they're really thankful to President Trump, hey, pay us back at the ballot box this year. Because they voted for it. If you're a Venezuelan American, I want to let you know, you helped liberate Venezuela. If you voted for President Trump and you're a Venezuelan American, you helped liberate your country. A few days ago, you helped. You voted for it. And I don't say it, the leftists will say it's something to be ashamed about. No, it's something to be proud about. Because your home, which has been years under savage dictatorship, cruel abuse, has been liberated. Has seen the light of day. And it will likely be that Venezuela will be free because we're not going to let Maduro turn back. No. We're not going to even entertain the idea that we're going to let Maduro fly all the way back and be president again. No way. And that vice president, she's illegitimate. She's weak. She's Diet Claudia Sheinbaum. And she's likely going to bend the knee. She's already talking to the United States. She has to do her posture, act tough, act defiant, act resistant. But she's going to be way more easier than Nicolas Maduro. Less stubborn, for sure. So what happens? I don't know. It's really up in the air. But I'll tell you. The United States caught a fish, big fish, and I really do believe that we fulfilled President Trump. President Trump did fulfill his campaign promise. He didn't campaign on regime change at all. But let's be honest, a lot of these Hispanic Trump supporters, they vote for Trump not just for affordability. they vote for Trump not just because of the immigration. They vote for him because of this. Okay, this is huge. This is what a lot of these MAGA Hispanic Trump supporters, they want to see regime change in Latin America. Okay, so this could have benefits in the long run in the midterms. There will be idiots, leftists, that will try to campaign on this. It's not going to work. I will tell you, they're mostly going to succeed from the mass deportations out of everything. But I will say, will this have consequences in the midterms? The answer is not really, because number one, there is no war. Good news, right? No war. Although Trump did say we'll see, but it's likely that there's not going to be a war, okay? Because, okay, you do have pro-Maduro forces, but let's keep in mind, this isn't the Middle East, where you have a bunch of countries that were friendly to those, let's just say, military forces, like ISIS. They had Syria right by them. They had Iraq by them. They had Jordan. They had territories in Jordan. They had underground areas everywhere. These Maduro forces just have Venezuela, okay? They just have Venezuela. They're in a country that's generally Western, okay? Venezuela never used to be our enemy until 1999 when this regime came along. And really, they aren't an adversary. We have declared Maduro as an adversary, his regime. Therefore, that if we didn't declare Venezuela an adversary and put them as on the same level as we did with Russia and China, North Korea, and Iran, and Cuba, that shows in some areas that the relationship is still intact with Venezuela. And that Maduro's seats have not been rooted in. Let's remember, this guy lost re-election by 68%. This guy wasn't even Putin was re-elected by like 80%. Maduro couldn't even rig his own election. It's very, very likely that this is over. And that the celebrations in Venezuela are legitimate. They have a reason to celebrate. They have a reason to thank President Trump, and I think we should all thank President Trump, regardless if we have interest into this conflict or not. He risked his political career to put America first. He carried that big stick. He talked calmly and softly. He spoke, he gave the threats. Maduro, time and time again, said no. He found out. Trump did not chicken out. Biden did. Obama did. Bush did. They kicked the cans down the road. They have proven that they didn't care. And that's all I have to say in regards to this video. I know this video is a little different. It's supposed to be in regards to elections. But this Venezuela news is just so big not to ignore. And it does have implications in the future. You have a future Venezuela election coming up. You have ties to the midterms. So I hope we all embrace this in the end of the day. I support this. I have been very good at opposing regime change. But this is one regime change that I support. Because this is an adversary, an enemy on our side of the globe who's actively attacking us. Unlike Putin, unlike Iran, unlike Xi, and unlike North Korea and the Kim regime, this guy's attacking us. We had the audacity to go to Ukraine and Israel while we were being attacked. That was stupid idiocy. And we said, no, we're not going to ignore this anymore. America proved to be strong. And we showed the world that we ain't effing around. We aren't. And if you're America first, you would applaud this. You could be anti-war, anti-interventionism, but support common sense when it's needed. And this was common sense. So what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.